Hey guys, welcome to the rant. If you want to hear a specific topic ranted and rambled about, then support me on Patreon. Any amount will do, and you're gonna get a red name in the Discord. Join us, and then just shout it out. Be like, "Hey Sky, I want you to talk about this thing because you got a lot of words and stuff, and I like hearing them words." Cool. Okay. Well, today's rant is gonna be about should price matter when it comes to reviews. Now, I might be a little bit skewed because I come from a free-to-play background. I mainly played free-to-play games and MMOs or games as a service. So how you paid for those games really mattered. It normally sort of interjected and intertwined itself with the gameplay, such as if it was pay to win or if it used gacha or things like that. And how free was the free-to-play game? You know, how much of a demo was it, such as RuneScape, and then you get membership and go further, or how long did it take to earn membership? Things like that really impacted my personal reviews that I did. That was my perspective. Though maybe that's wrong. I don't know. That's kind of what we're doing this video for. But when it comes to AAA games, and namely, we're going to use a main example, the gameplay in the background, Link's Awakening, which is actually a game I played the original of and played it twice. And that's a big thing because I normally never play games twice. But I beat it twice. I had a lot of fun with it. I played it originally, and then I had the director's cut version. Cool stuff, okay? Very much loved it. And it's not my favorite. It's like my second favorite Zelda coming. Really, I love Oracle of Seasons and Ages. I cannot wait for those to get remade. But I will talk about more of those a little bit, actually, later, maybe. But basically, guys, right now, we got Link's Awakening, the remake. It just hit, and people are loving it. Reviewers are absolutely loving it, and I think a lot of players are very much enjoying the game as well. Both longtime fans and newcomers into the, I guess, this genre of Zelda game. But, you know, the top-down perspective. I think the art style is gorgeous, etc., guys. Okay, you know, we can go over, like, how cool of a game this is, but really, it's going to come down to this, guys. Is it worth $60? Because I think if you, like, at least what from my experience, like, every single forum post and most reviews, if they have comments enabled, guys, people are talking about how much it costs. And let's just go ahead and just do some compare and contrast right now, okay? So this is a $60 game. It's a full-priced game, but it is a one-to-one remake of a little Game Boy game. As graphically impressive as it might be with some subtle changes here and there, it's a remake. And that little additive custom chamber thing that they've added, that's bullcrap. Everyone knows that that's garbage, basically. It's essentially not good. Like, it's a big disappointment at least. Now, if this was a Link's Awakening and it was like the full original small game, which even back in the day was a smaller Zelda game, though it was sort of deeply compacted. I will say that it was a good game. It had a lot to do, a lot of variety. I enjoyed it, but it was a smaller game, you know, because it was built for the Game Boy. And then it being remade and on the Switch, you know, it really feels like they could add more. They could have added, you know, to make it $60. This could have been the Zelda maker that we wanted. And it looks like they were teasing it, you know, with the whole, you can make your own little dungeons, but you can only share them through Amiibo instead of online, which is what the hell? Anyways, but yeah, if this was the Zelda maker, then oh my god, it would have been amazing. It would have been so freaking cool. I feel like they kind of wanted to do a Zelda maker since they were teasing prototyping Breath of the Wild. You know, I would totally get behind that sort of like 2D, 3D kind of aesthetic and being able to change the graphics around depending on the dungeon. Kind of, you know, Mario Maker-ish. It would be so cool, man, if this was the Zelda Maker. $60, it would have been worth it. But honestly, guys, the amount of content in this game, in my opinion, it's not worth $60. And I think most people would agree it's not really a $60 game. Of course, it's a little bit subjective and it's kind of hard to talk about it, which is why I'm talking about it. But I'm just going to say it right here, guys. Price, I think it matters. I think price point does matter because there's tons of games where I'm sure you guys wait on, you know, like Shovel Knight or Hollow Knight, as great games as those might be. You might, for you personally, you know you're going to beat it in a certain time frame, or you probably have played similar games, or you know, you don't think they're polished enough or whatever. For whatever reason, you think that they're not worth that full price and you wait for it to go on sale. Of course, that's subjective. And I think those games are fairly priced, but you know, when it comes to $60, right? There even if there is some sort of vague subjectivity, there has got to be a point, friends and family. There's got to be a point where a game is just like, okay, that's a bit much. And I think Nintendo has really gotten away with a lot of smaller titles, or they've just gotten away with a lot of laziness, I think. And a lot of people love to promote, you know, Nintendo for not being lazy or for being so innovative. but for every step they go forward, they do take a step backwards in some other direction. They pick and choose what they want to do, and it's very experimental, which is why we love them, but it's also kind of why we hate them. And one thing that they just keep doing, which I guess is succeeding, is they are hard fast on keeping those games at a very, very, very high price point. Because in the end, they know they're timeless to an extent. I'm just saying, for the amount of content that some of these games have, it just doesn't make sense. I know Donkey Kong was actually criticized for being expensive, a game that I actually own on my Switch. It's more expensive than it was originally on the Wii U. What the heck? And it's an older game. So the pricing for Nintendo just doesn't make sense. I think we can all just say that. Doesn't make sense. It's very unfair. And now, when it comes to this game, yes, it's a good game. That's what really stings about it. It's a good game, and it's a game I want more people to play. But because I want more people to play it, the art of what this game is, and especially because it's in the style of old school Zelda games, which I know a lot of people love Breath of the Wild, but there was definitely something special and unique to the style and the flow of old school, top-down Zeldas. I really want more people to play this game, and I think $30 is a more appropriate price point. Okay, maybe I can even stretch to $40. But where is this $20 of worth coming from for this game? It doesn't have any sort of online features or cooperative features. It doesn't have any really it kind of has custom dungeons, but not really. They kind of suck. Very half-assed. It doesn't have the Zelda Maker experience, and this is not a long game, guys. This is a short game. Even if this is your first Zelda, okay, it might take some time, but I think generally gamers are better than they used to be, especially since you have a more comfortable experience now with a bigger screen, better graphics, things like that. The game flow overall. Also, this game launched with FPS issues. I know that's very jarring for some people, but that just really should not be the case. I'm just saying that. This is, okay, it's a good game, but is it a $60 game? And I think a really great way to compare it, I got two comparisons here to kind of prove my point, is you have an open world, over-the-shoulder, action, debatable RPG. It's a very deep game, Breath of the Wild. As desolate as it might be, it's still filled to the brim with stuff to do. It's a very big game that even if you don't think it has a lot of content in terms of one playthrough, this game actually has a tremendous amount of replay value. And if you go into every nook and cranny, there's just so much to do with Breath of the Wild. And it's a very innovative game, and especially for the Switch, a gorgeous, crazy game. Like that is a full price game. That is a AAA $60 game experience, in my opinion. And now look at this Game Boy remake, which essentially it is the same game, just has a little bit better graphics. Okay, a lot better graphics. But, Breath of the Wild versus Link's Awakening. That's I'm just saying that's my opinion. And then when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, what's going to be crazy is Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be basically the same price as Link's Awakening. Now think about where are you going to put your money? Where are you going to put your money? Not in Link's Awakening. Yeah, I'm just saying that. And then to kind of compare as well, I think if you wanted to make a $60 Legend of Zelda game, then obviously you could have made Link's Awakening and made it the Zelda Maker that it should have been. Or you can kind of, okay, here's a couple Zelda games actually. Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. And if you never got to play them, you freaking missed out because they're my favorite. And I think they're the best 2D Zeldas. But basically, they're two games like Red and Blue version, except they're actually different games. They're totally different games, but you need to play one and then play the other and kind of combine the save files in order to finish the game. So basically, for the price of one game, you're getting two totally separate adventures. It's totally different lands, totally different items. There's some similarities, but basically like two different games. Now, if they remake those and put them all into the same cartridge, I would say that's a $60 game. That is a huge experience. Like basically what we got here was like the red version, Link's Awakening is red version. And then the depth, the tremendous, huge growth that Heart Gold or, Gold and Silver had, with the extra territory, the extra gym battles, all doubling the Pokemon number, all that, double the content. Yeah. I do believe that's eventually going to happen. I do believe eventually we are going to get an Oracle of Ages and Seasons in one cartridge, a remake of those games, and then it's going to be $60. But since prices normally don't go down for Switch games, we're going to have Link's Awakening at $60 or $50, and then we're going to have the remakes here. Comparing and contrasting, I'm just saying it just doesn't make sense. So whether it makes sense for you now, that's debatable. That's obviously subjective, but I think to a point, it's going to come to a point where it's pretty objective that this game's overpriced. And so when we look at reviews, okay, I think that for the price, it's too much. Would you really rate a game a 10 out of 10 if it cost $1,000? If this game cost $1 million, is it still a 10 out of 10? And you might say, well, that's too extreme. That doesn't count. But that's what I'm saying, is obviously it's subjective, but there's some outlier objectivity here where if you just compare and contrast, which all reviews should, really, a 10 out of 10 should be the best game. A 10 out of 10 Zelda is the number 1 out of 10 Zeldas. So this game, it's a great game. It's some people's favorite Zelda, but is it $60 worth of content, of ingenuity? I don't know. That's debatable, but we're going to see in time for sure. But me, I guess if something is overpriced to an extent and I have to make a note of it in my review, which you'll often see, everyone's talking about it. If I have to say, oh, the price is, it's a reason why someone wouldn't buy this game, then you got to at least knock off a point or two. You just have to. You need to mention it. It needs to come up. And I think that even if you're not going to use a point system, you should explain, the content, how long it's going to take to play the game, what you can really do, the breadth, the depth of this game, and then you let other people decide if the price point matters. But it needs to be explained much more in reviews, I think so. Anyways, so that's just my thoughts and feelings. Again, great game, fantastic game. But I love 2D Zeldas. I've played most of them. Oracle of Ages and Seasons were my favorite. But I'm just saying, guys, I wouldn't buy this game as a gift. I really wanted to buy it for my son, but $60 is a bit much. I'm gonna wait. Maybe there's gonna be a freak sale one day or something like that. But that's just a bit much for me right now. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Should reviews include mentions of the pricing, and should that affect the overall scoring and the overall judgment? Let me know in the comments below. Regardless, guys, keep the hype alive. And also, last question, what was your favorite 2D Zelda? Okay, that's it, guys. Much love. See you in the next one.